What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Chimera Fiendsmith deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck is an amazing deck to play with just how well the Chimera and Fiendsmith cards work together. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go and get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Fiendsmith. Fiendsmith is definitely a 3 of in the build because this card is a powerhouse of a card. This card is ability you can discard this card to be able to add a Fiendsmith spell and trap from your deck to your hand, which you're always adding Fiendsmith track off this card's effect. This card also has the ability if it's in your graveyard, you can shuffle one other light fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck or the X deck to special summon this card, which is a crazy powerful ability just to help you get this card back on your side of the field so you can go full Fiendsmith combo. We then play a single copy of Lacrima. Lacrima is an amazing 1 of in the build because this card is a walking foolish burial for Fiendsmith with the ability this card is always treated as a Fiendsmith card, and if it's normally special summon, you get to send a Fiendsmith card from your deck to the graveyard. Also during your opponent's turn, if this card's in the graveyard, quick effect, you can actually target a Fiendsmith link monster in your graveyard, shuffle this card into the deck, and if you spell summon that monster back to your side of the field, helping you bring back your copy of Requiem to your side of the field so you can go full Fiendsmith combo all over again. We then play a single copy of Fabled Lurry. Fabled Lurry is awesome in this deck as a 1/0 to be able to search off your copy of your tract to add it to your hand so we can discard it and then go full Fiendsmith combo because this card will special summon itself back to your side of the field so you can link it away for your copy of Requiem. We'll play a single copy of Evil Hero Sinister Necrom. Sinister Necrom is great as a 1 of the build because you actually banish this card from your graveyard to special summon an Evil Hero monster from your hand or deck, except a copy of this card, which is awesome to be able to instantly bring out your copy of Evil Hero Adusted Gold. Adusted Gold is great as a 1 of in the build, as this card is actually a light fiend monster, meaning you can actually link this card away to go full Fiendsmith combo, which is awesome. This card also has an awesome fact that you can actually discard this card to add a Dark Fusion from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to give us another way to fuse. Then getting into the Chimera cards, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Codal. Codal is definitely a 3 of in the build and such a powerful card to be able to play in this deck, as this card helps us get to our copy of Mirror Sword Knight with the ability that you can actually discard this card to add a monster that mentions Chimera Fusion from your deck to your hand, and also when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card that you control while you control a copy of Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast, quick effect, you can banish this card from the field or the graveyard to negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card, which is a great effect to give you some targeting protection. We then play 3 copies of Mirror Sword Knight. Mirror Sword Knight is great as a 3 of in the build because this card is essentially the Lone Fire Blossom of the deck, with the ability to quick effect tribute this card to special summon a monster from your deck that mentions Chimera Fusion except a copy of this card, and also this card is a monster negate when you control a copy of Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast by banishing this card from your field or your graveyard, which is a great effect. We then play 3 copies of Nightmare Apprentice. Nightmare Apprentice is a great extender in the build, just an awesome card overall in this deck. You can actually discard a card to special summon this card from your hand, and if it's normally special summon, you can actually add an illusion monster from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to instantly grab the exact card you need off of Nightmare Apprentice. We then play 3 copies of Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws. Gazelle is an amazing 3 of in the build because this card has the ability if it's normally special summon, you can actually add a level 5 fiend monster or a Chimera Fusion from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to either grab our fusion spell or a copy of Big Wing Birth Map, but you can also grab your copy of Sinister Necrom because it's a level 5 fiend that we can actually search from our deck to our hand, use it as a fusion material, and then once we do, we can banish it from our graveyard to summon a Dusted Gold to our side of the field and then go full Fiendsmith combo, which is why we play the small Evil Hero engine in the deck. We then, for this card's other effect as well, if it's sent to the graveyard as a material for a fusion summon, you can actually add an illusion monster from your deck to your hand, which is great to grab the exact card that you need, essentially letting you grab your copy of Codal and then grab your copy of Mirror Sword Knight, which is awesome for this card to be able to do. You can play a single copy of Big Wing Birth Map. Baphomet is great as a one-of in the build, but you only need a single copy in this particular build, with an awesome fact that if it's normal or special summon, you can actually add a level 4 beast monster and or a Chimera Fusion from your deck to your hand, which you're always adding both, but the only downside of this card is also you cannot special summon monsters from the extract for the rest of the turn except for fusion monsters after you activate this effect, which is the only downside to this card's ability. So you always want to go full Fiendsmith combo first before you summon this card out to your side of the field. Also, this card has the ability, if it's sent to the graveyard as a material for a fusion summon, you can target an illusion monster in your graveyard and special summon it. We then play a single copy of Dibeels. Dibeels is great in this deck as a one-of because this card is essentially a walking anti-spell fragrance, which is really cool to be able to play in this deck, as your opponent must set spells and trap cards before activating them, and if a spell or trap card becomes set on the field, while you control this monster, you can actually target a card that you control and a card your opponent controls and destroy them. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's definitely a 3-of build to basically just stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Fluros. Fluros is great as a 3-of build to basically just help us dig into the deck for the exact cards that we need. We then play 3 copies of Droll. Droll is great as a 3-of build to basically just stop the opponent from touching the deck for the rest of the turn, and also it's an insane hand trap this format. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is great as a one-of build just to stop the exact hand trap your opponent's using against you while we're going in for all of our plays. We then play a single copy of Dark Fusion. I couldn't resist playing this ultimate rare version of Dark Fusion. It's so cool looking, and this card just helps us go in for fusion plays, letting us fusion summon a Fiend Fusion monster from our extract using monsters from our hand or field as a material, and your opponent cannot target it with card effects this turn, which is a great effect. We then play 2 copies of Fiendsmith's Track. Fiendsmith Track is really good as a 2-of build. I feel like 3 copies is just a little bit too much in this deck, so 2 copies is amazing. Plus we can search this card off our copy of Fiendsmith, but this card lets us add a light fiend monster from our deck to our hand, then we discard a card, which is insane to be able to add our copy of Lurie, and then discard Lurie, so we can go full Fiendsmith combo. We then play 3 copies of Chimera Fusion. Chimera Fusion is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card is actually insane. This card has the ability that during the main phase, you can actually fusion summon a fusion monster from your extract using monsters from your hand or field as material, including a beast or a fiend monster, which is so easy to do in this deck. And during the main phase, if this card's in the graveyard and you have a copy of Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast on the field or in your graveyard, you can actually add this card back to your hand, which is a great effect to grab this card back, set it to your side of the field, and then be able to go into a Guardian Chimera during the opponent's turn, which is insane to be able to do. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing a few, starting off with Fiendsmith in Paradise. Fiendsmith in Paradise is really good as a 1-of in the build, and it's an awesome target to actually send to the graveyard off your copy of Lacrima. This card lets you target a level 7 or higher light fiend monster that you control, and send all cards on the field to the graveyard that are not that monster. And if your opponent special summons a monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card and then send a Fiendsmith monster from your deck or extract to the graveyard, which is a great effect to instantly get a card in the grave. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is great as a 3-of in this build to basically just stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. So, that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with a single copy of Chimera. the King of Phantom Beasts. This card is definitely a one of the build and counts as a copy of Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast while it's on your field or in your graveyard, which is such a powerful effect. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can actually activate the ability to quick effect banish this card from your graveyard during your opponent's turn to target a Beast Fiend or an Illusion monster in the grave and special summon it, which is an awesome effect to instantly bring back a card during your opponent's turn. But this card is actually insane in this build because when it's summoned out to your side of the field, you can actually send a random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard during the end phase of this turn, which is such a powerful ability to be able to use to grab a card out of your opponent's hand and just get it in the graveyard. We then play a single copy of the Baphomet Fusion. Baphomet Fusion is great because this card is a walking foolish burial and also counts as a Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast while it's on the field or in the graveyard. But if this card is fusion summoned, you can actually send a Beast Fiend or an Illusion monster from your deck to the graveyard, and during your opponent's turn, a quick effect, you can actually banish this card in the graveyard to target one of your banished Beast Fiend or an Illusion monster and special summon it back to your side of the field, which is such a powerful effect. We play a single copy of Guardian Chimera. Guardian Chimera is great in this build as a 1-up, as we can easily summon this card during our opponent's turn with Chimera Fusion to either be able to pop 2 cards and draw a card, or draw 2 cards and pop a card, depending on where you use the fusion materials from. We then play a single copy of the Duke of Demise. Duke of Demise is great as a 1-of in the build and just such a powerful card because this card is a level 6 Fiend monster that just requires 2 Fiend monsters and or zombie monsters to make this card, and once per turn during your standby phase you pay 500 life points or destroy this card. It cannot be destroyed by battle like an Illusion monster, and also during your main phase you can immediately as Exal's normal summon a monster to your side of the field, and also banish card in the graveyard and target a level 4 or higher Fiend or zombie monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand, which is a very interesting effect for this card to have. And my single copy of Desiree. Desiree is great as a 1-of in the build because this card just is a multiple negate on the field and is great to be able to use in this deck. It's very easy to fusion summon into, and it can just end games on its own. And my single copy of Princess. Princess is really good as a 1-of in the build and very easy to summon out to your side of the field. This card is an awesome combo piece in the deck and very easy to summon because it must be special summoned from your X-Check by sending the above cards that you control from your hand or field to the graveyard, which is just a monster equipped with another monster card, which is very easy to be able to do, and I absolutely love this card in this deck. We then a single copy of Aerial Eater. Aerial Eater is a great combo piece in this build and a really good 1-of overall in this deck to be able to use. And then a single copy of Magnum. Magnum is insane in this build as a 1-of, as this card actually is just very easy to summon out to your side of the field, plus it's a Fiend and it's light, so it's very easy to help you bridge into your different engines using this card. We then made a single copy of DDD Wave High King Caesar. This card is a double negate, and if you're going first with your copies of your Fiendsmith cards, you're always going to end on this card, but this card is amazing in the build as a 1-of, and just so cool to be able to play in this deck. With my single copy of Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel is great in this build as a 1-of, just to help you spar move cards off the field. Plus, it's very easy to step into this card using light and dark in this build, and it's just an insane card overall in this deck. We then made a single copy of Abao Aku, the Lightless Shadow. Abao Aku is great because this card during the main phase can quick effect discard a card to be able to non-targeting destroy a card, or you banish this card until the end phase, and if you do, special summon a light or dark monster from your graveyard, which is a great ability. Plus it helps us draw cards, which helps us fix our hand. We made a single copy of Agnum Day. Agnum Day is great to be able to use your copy of Desiree. This makes Desiree absolutely massive on your side of the field with the ability that once per turn, quick effect, you can actually target a light non-link monster that's a Fiend in your graveyard and special summon it. If you do, equip this card that you control to that monster as an equipped spell with the following effect: that the equipped monster gains attack equal to the total link rating of the link monsters equipped to it times 600, and if the equipped monster attacks the initial monster, it does piercing damage, which is great to be able to work with your copy of Desiree. We can play a single copy of Sequence. Sequence is great as a 1-of to basically just use this card as a Miracle Fusion, basically shuffling back your materials to step into your copy of your Desiree or one of your other fusion monsters, which is great to be able to do because during your main phase, you can actually fusion summon a Fiend fusion monster from your X-Check by shuffling its materials from your graveyard into the deck, which is great to be able to instantly summon out the exact card that you need. Let's see a copy of Moon. Moon is really good as a 1-of in the build. Just W step into your Fiendsmith engine because any 2 cards equal Moon, and then you can basically use this card to be able to make your Fiendsmith engine because this card is a light fiend. In the way, a single copy of Requiem. Requiem is great in this deck as a 1-of, as this card is a Link 1 monster just requiring any light fiend monster. And quick effect, you can tribute this card to special summon a Fiendsmith monster from your hand or deck to your side of the field, which is great to be able to do to basically summon out your copy of Lacrima, then send the exact card you need to the graveyard, like a copy of Fiendsmith, then equip this card to your copy of Lacrima, because this card has the ability that you can actually target a light non-link fiend monster you control and equip this card from your field or graveyard to that monster that you control as an equip spell that gives it 600 attack points, then basically tribute your copy of your Lacrima, equip to this card to step into your copy of Princess, and then you can easily bring back your copy of Fiendsmith, step into your copy of Wave High King Caesar, which is so easy to do. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is so fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Chimera Fiendsmith deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try. It's an extremely fun deck to play. It's super fun to be able to just OTK your opponent with this build, and it's really, really powerful. So that's going to do for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.